purplish pink color called hyacinth. Yeah, absolutely. You might want to see it first. But, yes, it will be for
goes over
sale,
there,
but
see?
you can't take it home today. It has to cool down in our annealing oven, which it'll do for about 12 hours to relieve the stress. We can get it to you.
Where is he going to do it?
Dylan's picking up some of that color right now. It's called hyacinth. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing a purplish pink, a flower. Thank you. What color is that flower? Purple and pink. Good. All right. On board. So Dylan's picking that up. There's a couple different ways we can get color in glass. What we're going to be doing right now is called a color drop, where we will apply a piece of already made color to our glass so that it takes on the qualities of that color. You can make the color yourself if you really want to and you're feeling masochistic. We make blue glass here ourselves. This is our furnace that holds blue glass. We make that by melting clear glass with different metal oxides. So for the blue we have here, we use cobalt oxide. That helps to make blue, cobalt blue. And we use copper carbonate to get a little bit of a greenish color to it. This blue is unique to right here. This look, a small amount of air into the end of the pipe, tapped my thumb over it, and the heat from the glass expands the air I blew into it, giving us a bubble inside. This is the negative space that will be inside the piece and form the the holding part of whatever this is going to be, a bowl. So I'm going to take this color from Dylan, apply it to the top of this piece, and then we're going to evenly distribute that color all around the bubble so that when we continue to inflate the bubble, it'll all look like hyacinth, whatever that may be. Lovely. So a little note on how this is going to work. For this demo, if you have questions, if there's a moment where I do stop talking, how hot is the glass? Very. The glass sits in our furnace at about 2100 degrees Fahrenheit. It's about 1100 degrees centigrade from anybody from a more enlightened country. Sorry, as a former scientist, I'm an advocate for the metric system. That's not a political statement. That's just good business. Okay, so this tool I'm using right now is called a block. It's a carved piece of fruit wood, in this case cherry wood, and it's soaked in water so that when it comes into contact with the glass, the steam that it creates helps to cushion the glass, prevents the glass from being marred in any way by the tool, prevents the tool from burning. It's called the Leidenfrost effect. Alright, now we'll begin a series of, actually no, we're going to put some little design on this, little funny design. So Dylan's going to heat up some white. Hopefully I'm going to put some polka dots on this. Everybody would like to see that happen. Or not, that's fine. Millennial, so I need constant affirmation that what I'm doing is okay. Thank you! Oh, thank you! That joke always kills in Gold Canyon. Alright. So I'm going to heat up this piece, get it wicked hot. I'm going to jam it down into that mold. It's made out of cast aluminum. It's called an optic mold. This will give me a ridged pattern all the way around the piece. Then we'll apply this bit of white that Dylan has. And hopefully, if we do it right, it makes dots instead of a mess. We'll see. Oh, Dylan, don't mess it up, she says. That's what I forgot to say. That's what I forgot. Dylan, don't mess it up. Thank goodness. Whom did you apprentice to? Oh, wow. Maestra.
No, Netflix. She did. She did.
So now we have this nice ridged pattern. do I wear this hat? To keep my head covered. In the eyes of the Lord. Okay. It's part of our costuming here. It's headgear. It's a requirement. Yeah, actually. Alright, so Dylan's going to bring this white over. We're going to trail it all along here. It's only going to stick to the tops of those ridges. It won't get down into the valleys below. So when I go to reheat this in the furnace, excellent job, Dylan. I turned the wrong way. Good job for hanging out.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, good one for Dylan. That's a really, really difficult maneuver to do, actually, to get it to thread on that evenly. So by heating it right now, I'm causing that white glass to break wherever it wasn't touching those high points from the optic mold. And if I do it right, you gotta shake and bake. The result is the glass will burn back from the areas of the low valleys, and what you're left with are dots. Oh yeah, tons of different types of glass. What we use here is called silica soda lime glass. It's special glass for glass blowing. There are a bunch of different versions of glass. You know, Pyrex is one. It's similar to borosilicate glass. It's what you use in cooking. It can withstand a lot of thermal shock. This is called soft glass. It cannot withstand a lot of thermal shock. Go ahead, Bill. This is our special effects portion. Just elongating. I'm using gravity to help elongate the piece. So eventually, I'll need a place for this to separate from the blowpipe so it can be a finished piece. So I have to start setting that up now. You always have to think several steps ahead of time. Set everything up properly from the beginning. So I'm going to create a constriction in the glass right here just off the blowpipe. And this will allow the glass to hopefully break in a controlled manner when it comes time to remove it from the blowpipe. Hopefully it breaks here and not anywhere else. Keyword hook. Yep. Alright, we'll do a little bit more air, then we'll start working the bottom of this thing. Can it pop while you're blowing into it? Yeah, if you overinflate it, it can break. It can also collapse in on itself. So it's very, very important. There's a lot of, seemingly unknown factors that go into this that you never think about. Off. All right, I like it. Thank you. If she keeps talking, I'll sell it to you. I'm gonna pass this up to Dylan. He's gonna babysit it for me.
I'm not talking.
I'm gonna start making a base for this to rest on. It'll be a two-part process. I'm going to drop some hot, clear glass onto the marker table. This will cool and make a nice little, what we call a cookie. Do not eat it. It tastes like fire. I'm going to try to stick this as on center as possible. Don't let my posture fool you, it's very difficult. I have about 8 seconds to do that before it becomes unworkable. Alright, we're going to tool this foot just a little bit using the diamond shears. No, using the jacks. It's been a long day. And then we'll go ahead and put a second one just like that on it, but bigger. The question is, do you usually have to have two people working in tandem? A lot of the time, yes, but no, it's not a requirement. You can do much of this by yourself. It just requires a different set of skills, different practicing. It's kind of like learning how to ride a bike like one-legged. It's possible, it's just weird to learn. I've spent a lot of time practicing that as well. How did I hear about glass blowing? That guy was going to take a class. All right, how'd I do?
Yeah.
Can't really see it. So all parts of Dylan right there was just showing me how thick the glass was on the top of it. It just saves me from having to look at it when I sit down at the bench and waste precious seconds. Every second in glass blowing counts. A lot of people are amazed or even annoyed when you tell them how long it takes to make a piece, because most of it will be under an hour. But glass has to be worked very, very quickly because it cools down. You don't have infinite amount of time to keep working it. It has to be done very, very quickly and very precisely. The only thing you cannot be as a glass blower is indecisive. It's the one thing that'll get you burned, literally and figuratively. How many pieces do we make in a day? Depends on the day. Depends on the piece. It really depends on what we're doing. If they're small pieces, you can crank them out pretty well. But if they're larger, they might take all day to make 3 or 4 of the same thing. Depends on how many we lose too. I'm starting to think I should miss.
It's like a vase.
Alright, we're going for a long haul here. Dylan's smiling at me because he knows it's coming next. I'm going to have to trim all of that glass that I just pulled out so that it looks nice and even and smooth. And that's quite a large diameter to go around. So Dylan's laughing at me here. Thank you, Dylan. Gotcha. Friends like these, right? I'm going to cut it off. Million-mile cut here, folks. Good job, buddy. So now we'll go in with the jacks, and we'll make make the opening a little wider, give it a little flare, and then hopefully be done with it. And we'll move on to our, we got a little special surprise coming up after this piece. It's really quick, it's really fun, and if you've ever seen glass blowing, you've probably never seen this before. It's going to be pretty fun and special. Now, straighten the foot.
Holy cow.
Alrighty. That is a finished roll. Thank you. No more deal? No, you're good. No, please. We have fun. We work with each other long enough that we know how to push each other's buttons. Alright, so if I treated this putty well, and Dylan made it, right? It should just pop off right here with a little shock. That's it. Smooth for the punny. Excellent punny, Dylan. I say if, Dylan always makes a nice punny. I'm going to flame polish the bottom right here where it broke off. It is sharp right there. Just polishing it with the torch in order to get it smooth. Dylan's going to place it in the annealer. It will come down slowly in temperature in about 12 hours. The reason for that is different parts of the glass are at different temperatures. That means they cool at different rates. That means they contract at different rates. If parts are contracting differently, it puts a lot of stress internally on the glass. So we have to cool it slowly so it all cools down at the same rate and relieves that tension from inside.